Hi, this is BRENDA-JEAN Shephard, and I would like to share my experience with using two website building platforms. This is my portfolio that I built a year ago when I was new to the EdTech program at CSU-LB, and I chose to use Google Sites because I was just getting familiar with Google applications. As you can see, I embedded a slide presentation I designed to introduce myself to prospective students. It plays within the website, and it has embedded images and even videos. Now, there are choices in the sidebar menu and also a button, either of which leads to a page of program objectives and evidence, and you can scroll down either in the sidebar or the page to see the 8 student learning objectives in the EdTech program. If you click on one here, it takes you to a page with a written document, a web quest, and another slideshow. You can read the document without opening up in a separate tab, and you can open up the web quest. So this is a site within a site, also Google. You can see the pages have been arranged as tabs across the top rather than in a sidebar, and each one contains information for students to complete a project. We did this one. It went really well. Now this is what it looks like in editing mode. These are the different options you can choose from in creating a site. All sorts of content you can add. Most of it pretty much comes right from your Google Drive, so you don't need any add-ons or permissions to another program. The choices for different fonts and themes are somewhat limited, but there's still a lot of customization you can explore to build a great-looking and functional site. And from here, you can take it into preview mode to show what it will look like on a widescreen, tablet, or even on a mobile phone. All the same content is there on different devices. So I thought it was pretty cool, but I knew Google Sites wasn't the only game out there. For example, my kid, who recently completed a bachelor's degree, created this portfolio on Wix. It looks very concise and professional. You can see different pages with images you can click on that link to samples of their work. I'll let you just be impressed with it for a minute, like I was. So I went to Wix and created an account. I figured, how difficult can it be? I made some choices and I got started. First, I looked at all the templates. There's a lot of them, and they all look good, so I just picked one. I took a look at the menu to see what options I could choose from. I started with customizing the text. But I was frustrated that it had a character limit, so I couldn't seem to put the title I wanted to. I looked at page transitions, wasn't sure what to pick. I took a look at theme options, such as colors. There's certainly a lot to choose from. One of the main things I wanted to do was change the background image. So I went to Media, I linked to my Google Photos, which required me to give Wix permission to access all my pictures, and I chose a few of them to upload. Then I Googled images for CSU Long Beach. As a note here, I've sped up the whole process 10 times for you, and I did not include my web searches for how to use Wix. Anyway, I found images I liked, but when I copied the links and pasted them into the uploads, I got error messages. I went to a document I prepared ahead of time with all the links and pictures I'd planned to use to build the site, but I wasn't able to find any way to paste them into Wix Media. You can kind of see my frustration here. I couldn't use the pictures I really wanted. I figured I'd just use what I had. The thing was, I would upload a picture, but the background of the actual page wasn't changing. For no apparent reason. So I decided to work on the text. That seemed like it would be simple enough. I was able to enter my titles, resize the fonts, and reposition the text box without any difficulty, but I still couldn't figure out where my background was or how to apply it. Removing unnecessary stuff. Yay! I finally got it! So moving on, I wanted to embed the portfolio content I'd prepared, but the main thing I found myself doing was deleting text boxes and other elements that I didn't want. I started wondering if I should just abandon the template altogether and just start with a blank slate. I decided I'd press on. I wanted to embed the teacher intro slideshow like I had in my other site. This shows my process of how I went into my drive, looked through folders, realized I needed to email it to myself from another account, opened up the presentation, and published it to the web so that I could get an embed code and put it in the media box, and yay, it worked. I centered it on the page, but then there was this big white space under it. And at this point, I'm getting increasingly frustrated because this program is really not intuitive. I had one image that did weird things, but you can see I wrestled with it till I finally got it right. I still don't know how to get rid of that white space. And there's a ton of text boxes and elements I'm having to delete. Yes, I really should have started from scratch rather than going with a template created by someone who had clearly mastered website design way beyond my level. Here, I'm adding buttons to the SLOs to link to pages with my evidence for each one. This, at least, is not hard to figure out. I create one button, paste the text, reposition it, Control D to make 8 of them, move them to where I want them to be, and then Control paste all the verbiage from my planning document. Again, this is at 10 times speed. I embed a research paper I wrote, making sure to adjust the share settings properly, a slideshow of a group project, there's that teacher intro again. Yep, that's me scuba diving with sharks. And a graphic novel biography of author Owen Colfer. I'm proud of the work I've done. It's some pretty good stuff. I've learned a lot of useful skills in this program so far, and I'm only halfway through. But when it comes to the platform I use for my final portfolio, the jury's still out. The main things I like about Sites, besides that it's free, and also that it's the program my students are most likely to use, is that it's fairly intuitive based on my familiarity with Google products. I also like the fact that I don't have to give permissions to a whole other site, giving them access to all my photos and files. Google already has access to those, of course, but that's enough already. On the other hand, other platforms, including Wix, have more options and fancier features that will make my portfolio look more professional. Since I am in fact studying technology and media leadership, I shouldn't take the easy way out and avoid exploring the other tools. But I do still have more than a year before I graduate, so I should have plenty of time to investigate and learn how to use the other platforms. And one more note. The tool I'm using to create this screencast is WeVideo. It's new to me, and so I'm still trying to figure out all its features. The main thing I like about WeVideo, compared to Camtasia, for example, is that it's cloud-based, and I don't have to download software onto my computer. I can access WeVideo editing from wherever I am, whatever device I'm on. It's not free, though. It's a subscription. So it's kind of like a cross between Screencastify and Camtasia. And there you have it. I hope this has been helpful.